Hi everyone, I'm Honeymoth Tarot and today I'm going to be doing a pick-a-pile read for you guys. So as usual, the timestamps will be in the comment section of the video. And I'm going to be picking out 3 piles. So I'm just going to fan out the cards. Even this one. This one. And this one. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to make the piles a bit more presentable and I'll be right back. We have pile 1, which is Divine Feminine. We have pile 2, which is Freedom. And we have pile 3, which is Advancements. As I said before, the timestamps for each pile will be in the comment section. And if you feel drawn to more than one pile, that's okay. Simply watch more than one. Hi, pile 1. So you guys chose the Divine Feminine card, which is number 24, which can also be kind of shrunk down to the number 6, so that may kind of resonate for you. I'm just going to start off by reading the passage that's in the guidebook. So this card asks you to begin operating more from a feminine energy flow, whether you are male or female. It asks that you allow your power to flow from within instead of using force. Be mindful of using a gentle approach to people and situations. The role of nurturer and healer is important for you, and these gifts will blossom when you allow them to naturally emanate from you. Focus on your relationships with the people you interact with. You will find that more will be accomplished while creating peace and harmony for all involved. Okay, I'm feeling like using this deck. So let's get into the tarot portion. So we have the High Priestess, which is really interesting because we just spoke about the Divine Feminine, and that is what the High Priestess is all about. So I feel as though you're either being called to kind of access the more feminine side of yourself, or you are aligned with that sort of energy. Okay, anything else for the month of December for pile 1? And we've got the Star, which is Aquarian energy, so you or someone you may be dealing with maybe an Aquarius. This is a very like feminine, watery sort of energy. And I want to say that during the month of December, you'll be feeling a lot more kind of emotionally connected to the people that you're with. You may also be getting into astrology, or like looking more towards like the moon, just because there are like a lot of moon and stars kind of planetary sort of vibes that I'm getting from the cards. And then we've got the Judgment card, which is usually something from the past or something being kind of resurrected. So I'm kind of getting like 2 different things. So I feel as though maybe the thing that's being resurrected, or the thing that's coming back from the past, is maybe this self-compassion, or like being more gentler with yourself and other people. because I feel perhaps like maybe through like certain events, like people just from like experiences, I feel as though some people can take advantage of people that are softer and more empathic. And I think maybe that caused you to kind of shun away this more feminine side of you. And I think you're kind of realising that it's okay to be vulnerable, that it's okay to care about people. Or perhaps there's like some sort of past dream that's being resurrected. But there's definitely a lot of healing around December, maybe like sort of bleeding into January, because I do kind of feel like tarot doesn't... there's not really like a necessary timeline with tarot in my experience. It's usually anywhere from a couple of months to a couple of years. Past things can come up, future things can come up. But whatever time period this is resonating for you, there's definitely healing and a resurrection of compassion. Anything else for pile 1 for the month of December? Thank you. And we've got the Ace of Swords. This is you living your truth. And I think there is like a softer side to you. And I feel as though you have had to kind of metaphorically use this sword to like keep boundaries or perhaps cut people out. But I think now, instead of the sword being used for defense, it's being used to show like truth. Just looking at these two cards, like butterflies or like winged animals, baby, something that you're seeing like quite a bit. And I want to say as well, like just with this trumpet here, that I feel as though you're being called to be more vocal about your wants and your needs. Or maybe there's something that kind of crops up where you have to stand up for yourself. And I think with this card, like, instead of standing up for yourself in like a blunt, maybe harsh way, it's kind of calling for you to have a softer approach. And then we've got the King of Cups, which is emotional stability, feeling more connected to your emotional self. And I also want to say as well, because the Suit of Cups is like water as an element, which I did say like this read is very watery. I feel this is you combining your masculine and your feminine side as it is a king. So there is like this mastery of the emotional self. maybe even like the psychic self as well, because we do have the High Priestess, which is usually about like intuition. Okay, pile one. So I'm going to get you a Moonology card. But this read's been like really positive. It seems like there's a lot of healing, a lot of emotional truths coming out. And then we've got New Moon in Cancer. You and your loved ones are safe. Yeah, I'm getting there's something about like the way that you relate to others. Maybe you've kind of been a bit more to yourself recently. The sign of Cancer is usually about spending time with loved ones, family. So I think being more connected with yourself, but then also having time with others to feel connected to them. But I am going to read you guys the passage that's in the book. There is a new start coming in your private life. Something is rising up in connection with the people and places you hold dearest. This can be to do with a member of your family, a flatmate, or moving house. If you're hoping to move forwards with someone special in your private life, this card comes to you as a message that you can do it. If you've been neglecting your family, it's time to reconnect with them. If you've been neglecting yourself, you need to take better care of yourself and nurture yourself more. If your insecurity is holding you back, that's something for you to work on now. Doing so could bring your heart's desire. And then it also mentions about spending time near water, which, as I've said, this reading is kind of like littered with water symbolism, so I do feel like that would be really beneficial for you. Okay, and last but not least, I'm going to get you guys an affirmation card. Feel free to use this affirmation throughout the month of December or at any other point. Okay, so can we get an affirmation card for pile one? Meditate upon your sphere of radiance and let light permeate your mind. All right, thank you for watching pile one, and I'll see you soon. Have a lovely December. Bye. Hi, pile two. So you guys chose the Freedom card, which is the number 28, which then kind of shrinks down to the number 10, which then shrinks down to number 1. So that may be significant for you. Okay, so let me just read you the passage from the guidebook, and then I'll get on with the reading. It's time to come out of your shell. This shell, which did serve you in the past to provide protection for your tender heart, is no longer needed. The time has come to begin to allow yourself true freedom. This world and your soul both need you to let your light and your heart to shine. Allow the past to be the past and move forward in the present moment. Do this in small steps at first if you need to. Moving away from your protective shell means allowing your true heart to be seen, but it also means allowing others in on a deeper level than you have been able to allow before. Okie doke. So what does pile 2 need to know for the month of December? Pile 2. Thank you. So we've got the Hangman, which is Pisces energy. So I feel as though you're being called to change your perspective on something, or maybe look at something from a different angle. And I do want to say, like, with the Freedom card, how it was speaking about allowing ourselves to be more ourselves in front of people, like without the fear of kind of being judged or rejected. And so maybe you're kind of being called to look at kind of the roots of why you feel that people will reject you, and whether that actually is like a possibility, or whether it's kind of something that you just sort of assume. And I do want to say as well, like, because I do relate heavily to that, of kind of assuming the worst, you know, for fear that if something does turn out well, that it will eventually kind of go wrong, or but I think because of these two hands like meeting in the center, you're being called to like be present rather than worrying about the past or worrying about the future. I feel as though there's a lot of what ifs. But maybe try and, instead of thinking, what if this goes wrong, maybe kind of switch that and what if it goes right? And then we've got the World, which is completion. And I want to say that this is you wanting to end, or possibly ending, this kind of script or this mindset that you have of being rejected or things not working out, and possibly even finding like your chosen family, being as these people are all like celebrating together. Okay, so what else for the month of December for pile 2? Okay, so right off the bat, meditation may be really helpful for you, just to kind of allow you to observe where these more kind of negative what if thoughts kind of stem from. And also possibly doing like shadow work as well, like delving into the parts of you that you may not necessarily like, and maybe you've ignored them for a long time, but they're still there. I think you're being called to work on them. You may even like work on it with like a group of people, maybe like a group therapy kind of session, or like an online thing. But I'm just getting that there's like several people working on something together. But then I do also want to say that there is like independent work that you've been doing too. Yeah, perhaps that's what it is. So maybe there's like a freedom here that you've been wishing for, that you could be yourself, living without fear. And I think that you've been working on that, or you're being called to work on that independently. And then I feel that the work in terms of like working with other people is you finding like a group of friends or like family members, and they truly do allow you to be yourself, and then that's where you kind of put that work into practice. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, I feel as though you're like breaking these habits. Yeah, I'm getting the word like dismantling. There may even be, I don't know, I'm getting like a really deep clean, and that may be like a physical deep clean of like your home or your room. But I'm getting something about like some sort of object that you've held on to because it's a part of your past. And maybe there's like something, I don't know if there's like a negative energy that's attached to this object, or if it's like a memory that's attached to this object, but it may be worth having a clean out and maybe getting rid of like unwanted items. And I have also noticed that we've got 2 5s here, so the number 5 may be significant for you. But regardless, 5s are all about change and an instability of some sort. So to be honest with you, I feel this may be like a bit of a challenging time for you. Pardon me, I just knocked the table. This may be like a challenging time for you, but I think you've got like some really good people around you that can help you through it. And I do also want to remind you that 5s, even though they are like kind of symbolic of instability, 2 5s can make a 10, which is all about abundance, completion. Okay, so I'm going to get you guys an oracle card. Oracle card for pile 2. Communication is key. Yeah, I'm feeling like a purge of some sort, whether that is like physical items or purging of writing down negative thoughts, or kind of speaking more positive ones. Okay, so I'm just going to read you guys the passage from the book. A successful relationship usually comes down from one thing: communication. And the new moon in Gemini card is all about the start of a new cycle for communicating with the person at the center of your question. Talking things through is the answer to whatever you're talking about. If you can't talk to that person, you can journal about it to yourself. Emails, text messages, and all other forms of communication will also help you now. If the issue you're talking about concerns a sibling or a neighbour, there's a new start coming, a time to wipe the slate clean and start over. This card could also suggest you've been too frivolous lately and need to get grounded again. But most importantly, drawing this card emphasises the need to communicate. And then it also mentions about socializing, ideas, travel, and possibly being mentally scattered. So I feel as though the socializing aspect is very important for you, because I have got, like throughout the reading, I have got like groups, or being around people that are kind of like-minded and truly accept you for the way that you are. Okay, so last but not least, I'm going to get you guys an affirmation card. So feel free to use this affirmation throughout the month of December, or not, it's up to you. Thank you. Allow the divine to organize outcomes. Imagine, play, simplify. Alright, pile 2, thank you for watching and have a lovely December. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi, pile 3. So you guys chose the advancements card, which is the number 6. So the number 6 may be significant for you. Before I start the reading, I'm just gonna read the passage from the guidebook. So, this is a time of change for you in the physical realm, and it may involve making some big decisions. Whether it pertains to changing jobs, making a career choice, beginning or ending a relationship, or moving to a new home, you have some choices you need to make. Trust yourself to make the right choice. Your guides are working with you to help you gain clarity and to move forward in your life. Stay true to yourself and allow your heart's calling. These changes are definitely for the better, both physically and spiritually. Right, so let's get into this reading. Okay. So yeah, there's definitely some sort of new beginning coming to you. May very well be in the realms of like career, jobs. Anything else for the month of December for pile 3? And you've got the card of love. So could quite possibly be a new relationship or a newfound love for something. But I want, overall, I'm seeing like that you're prioritizing yourself a lot more. And there is love in that, right? Because you're putting yourself first. And I feel as though like when you do things for yourself, like out of self-love, I just feel like you radiate love. Then we've got the Two of Cups. So yeah, this very well could be a relationship reading. I'm very sorry about the reflection and the lights, by the way, but it's kind of, it is what it is with the setup that I've got at the minute. Yeah, I feel as though this is a romantic relationship that is very equally balanced. And it's like, the energy that I'm getting is like this person makes you feel at peace. And it's giving me the vibe of, I don't know, this is kind of specific, but it gives me the vibe of when it's around about 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, and the sunlight is still kind of there, and it's like giving this sort of golden, like everything is sort of like drenched in like this gold sunlight. It's really peaceful. Are you guys maybe buying a house or kind of contemplating on buying a house? And if not, I do see this as like there being a very grounded structure with your relationship. Like there's no instabilities, the relationship isn't built on lies, it's like built on trust and truth. And with the bee symbol here, I think you guys work together really well. And then we've got the union card. Yeah, this is such like a well-matched relationship. A union where, regardless of gender, there is like a divine feminine and a divine masculine that are kind of coming together to create something that is love. There may very well be like a pregnancy or a giving birth with the Ace of Pentacles here. Obviously, you know, use your own discernment. I don't really have much to say about this reading, to be honest. It's so lovely and so, like, peaceful and balanced. Right, so I'm going to get you guys an oracle card. Can you get an oracle card for pile 3, please? I am feeling 2. I'm not quite sure why. So we've got nothing is yet set in stone, and then we've got you are good enough. And I feel as though this is pertaining to the fact that with this this perfect union, I think it's come after like a long period of maybe like a lower self-esteem, and I think you started to accept yourself a lot more, be more compassionate with yourself, and I think that self-love then kind of attracted another person that also loves themselves, and then now you're able to love yourselves as well as each other. But I am just going to look at this. Nothing is set in stone. So it says, mutable is all about change, shape-shifting, even as something is still developing. This card indicates that something is indeed changing and there's room for manoeuvre. So take it as a sign from the situation you're asking about is far from finalised. If you're not happy with the current state of play, that's marvellous. It means you can still change the course of the outcome. However, there is also a little there is also a sense that the situation could perhaps be a little unstable. For some, this is great news because you can still influence it. Others will struggle with the uncertainty. We should stay with it a little longer. Either way, nothing yet is set in stone. Okay, so then it mentions about keep visualizing and affirming what you want and that there's still room for change. So maybe perhaps this relationship hasn't even happened yet. Maybe it will happen a few months down the line. And so I would say that if you're not yet resonating with this, that maybe there is like a lot of, maybe there's more self-love work that needs to be done. Okay, so I'm also going to read the full moon in Virgo card as well. So full moon in Virgo. It's time to really be honest with yourself and understand what's led you to ask this question. Have you been too humble to the point of being self-effacing? Humility is good, but it can go too far, and drawing this card suggests that you may be underrating yourself. Yeah, see, that's interesting because I was on about like a lower sense of self-worth. Okay, so it says you don't have to be flash, just quietly certain that you are good enough. At the other end of the scale, you also need to be honestly answer this question. Have you been too picky? The full moon in Virgo card needs some truthful answers. Once you've given them, it should be easier to see how you got to where you are. Your next step should then be more obvious to you. Pay attention to the details. Hard work brings results. Okay, and then it mentions about decluttering your life and your home. And about worrying too much will attract more things to worry about. So yeah, overall I feel as though there is like an emphasis on loving yourself, operating from love in general, whether that's to yourself or to other people. But there is like a very strong connection that's either presently in your life or will be on the way soon. It just requires some self-love and a lot more compassion. Alright, pile 3, thank you for watching. Have a good December and I'll see you soon. Bye.